a very straight and long road, I think I'll do what I've been forgetting to do for past, I don't know, week. So this week we started Monday with doing crow tarp fixing. The solution that we have come up with is, instead of using tires, we're now cutting up long strips of belts, not metal centered belts, but fabric and plastic belt, that were on, I believe, a feeding system, but I'm not entirely sure. I would have to ask my dad about that one. And they've got all kinds of holes and stuff. They're junk. And so my dad had bought them for a very cheap price. And me and Dante, my employee, have been cutting them up. We started last week, and this Monday we continued. So in the morning, that's what we did. We cut up the belting, and then in the afternoon we fixed and placed down more crow tarps so that the belting basically draped over the entire bale so that the tarping didn't come off, because we have to fold the tarping in half in order to make sure that it doesn't actually have any problems if it ices and everything when it snows this year. Because that's what it's done for the past 2 years. It's iced really bad, at least at some point during the winter. It's been a warm spell and then freezes over. We've lost 2 winter crops now because of it. So regardless, that's why we've done what we did, and that was the entirety of Monday. Okay, so it is Tuesday, and I've been in a weird headspace lately, and so basically, I've always been obsessed with comics, and I love comics so much, and I kind of fell out of it during the end of high school, during college, because I basically lost time. So I ran out of time to really enjoy comics and everything like that. And I recently, after having seen, of course, the new Deadpool movie, I have relapsed incredibly hard on my addiction in terms of comics. So I was looking online, and on Facebook Marketplace, I found somebody who was basically purging some of their collection. And for $100, I just got over 80 comics. So I'm very excited to go through them, and I'll have to show that whenever I get home. However, I have like an hour and 20-minute drive back home, which is part of the problem of buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace, but I mean, to me, it's not that big of a deal because I do need to leave the house. So hopefully he'll keep me posted if he purges anything else from his collection. But yes, I am so incredibly happy right now. So let's go home and see what the collection is. Okay, so it is Thursday and not Wednesday, because I didn't take much video yesterday because I did a lot of driving yesterday. So I started the day by doing a barn thing. I went and I picked up molasses that we use for our mix every morning. However, then my dad, who's currently out on shit jobs, had a couple breakdowns, and so I ended up running back and forth kind of between the two a little bit. And then in the afternoon, I prepped for what I did today, and I put the necessary attachment on the machine I needed, and that being the TV tractor. And I put the rock bucket on it to then go pick rocks, which is what I did this afternoon. However, I forgot to take video of that. So, yeah. Oops. We'll see what Friday is, but that's where I'm at. So, that's that. I also did bedding this morning. If you can't tell by that guy there. Just lounging in amongst the girls. Donate Q-Gross. This ridge right here that I'm just crawling up onto is where I spent most of my time yesterday. You can see that I disobeyed the field rules and I just drove all over the hell of the thing just because it had so many rocks. So you can see my pile over there. That pile is just filled with rocks that are bigger than the wheelbarrow. So I'm now going to run the rest of this field and we will hopefully finish this so I can take a nap this afternoon. I didn't sleep very well, so that's the start of Friday. So on days like this where I am sitting in a tractor doing nothing but staring at a field and looking for rocks, where my insanity kind of hits a peak a little bit, I'm trying to think of like names for my phone. This phone, the one that I take video on, so then I can just like, I don't know, talk to my phone like it's a person, because that's totally mentally healthy. I'm thinking Phil. You know what? I should call my phone Phil Coulson. Maybe, like, I'm not that much of a nerd to think Jarvis. Nah. Coulson. That'll be my phone. My phone will be called Coulson. I won't lie, I have actually been kind of treating my phone like a person anyway, so now that it has a name, that being Coulson, this is gonna be interesting. But yes. Look, Coulson! I got more rocks! Sometimes I wonder why we even use lose this part of the field because since the new subdivision in town went in, they redirected a lot of the water flow. And so now this back half of this field is basically completely swampland for more than half of the year. And it's annoying because we lose part of our field, but also it changes the soil texture a lot. So yeah, like you can see all of the biomatter that's here, it's all like native swamp grass and everything like that. It's not actual crop or anything, so thank God we didn't lose that. However, it's annoying when you can't even get into a quarter of the field because of how swampy it is come start of season. Anyway, that's my complaint for that. Halfway! Let's go! Home again, home again! We finished in the field here. Home again, home again. This tractor has no air conditioning. I know I look very, very pink. It's because I am. Okay, 12:12, and it's time for breakfast. And then hopefully a nap. However, don't know about that one. We'll have to see.